Hi, beautiful people. You're welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fashion Uncut show. And guys, I have got a fashion. What do I even call her? I just know that I am a fan of her outfits. I know that she's exceptional with her styles. I love her styles, and I would really love to know what inspired her styles. And guys, she's married to one of the best photographers out there. Anyway, guys, I have got Jemima Nanfe Onyedeke. Is that right?
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
yes, right.
You're so beautiful, buddy.
Thank you so much.
And also, guys, she's married. Yeah, I mentioned, right? And she has a son. Like your stature. So we'll get to that. Let's just talk about fashion first. What inspired Nanfe?
So Nanfe is an infusion of my tribal name, which is Nanfe, and my dad's name, which is Kefas. So I spelled it as Nafe, which is an infusion of my dad's name and my name collectively together.
Wow. So what kind of style does Nanfe do?
So I think that my brand is all about how do I put it now? Is the whole story that comes with my brand is an infusion of myself and my dad, in just the way I'd mentioned about the name. So I lost my dad in my teen years, and thank you. And his sense of fashion and everything has actually influenced me as a person, as a grown-up. Yeah, he used to be a photographer before he joined the force, and he has this very simple way of life and how he dresses and the little minimal things that he likes, like with straight lines. He likes his clothes really sharp and just properly ironed, and then he's just a very simple man, but it also shows in the type of fashion or what he likes to wear and how he's very simple with the type of things he wears, but very distinct as well with whatever it is he did. So my own way of kind of having something that I could hold on to was to kind of see how his life and his style kind of has emerged with who I am now. And when I wanted to start my own brand, even though my mom used to sew back then.
Oh wow!
So I grew up in a family where my mom used to sew, and my dad was a photographer before he joined the force. And then eventually, it's just like an infusion of all of that coming together, and then starting up the brand as Nafe, which is basically
really beautiful. So this is an aside, but I see that was it a conscious thing to recreate what daddy and mommy did? Because he said mom used to sew and dad was a photographer, and I know that your husband is a photographer, and you're into the fashion business. So was it a conscious thing to recreate daddy and mommy?
Honestly, no, it just happened, right?
Really?
Yes, honestly, no. I think that no, I never even thought about it like that.
Wow.
I just grew up and I heard that my dad used to take pictures, because I remember that I had this picture of myself when I was 2, and he took the picture. So I was holding his camera lens and I was throwing a tantrum. I didn't want to take the picture. I was eating. I had these food crumbs on my lip, and he wanted to take a picture of me. So I think those ones, and then other collection of images that he had prior to years ago, I'd seen them at home, and my mom told me, oh, these are his images. And I saw his picture as a young man too. He was very fashionable. My dad was very, very fashionable growing up. So it is not about my dad, like I said, and it is not about my mom. I think it's just fate. Because honestly, I didn't even know I was going to be a fashion designer, or I was going to do anything in fashion. I had never thought of that. I thought I was going to probably be a newscaster or something.
Really?
I used to bond with that.
Okay, so amazing. So I also like the fact that you've answered one of my questions, which I was going to ask, because I wanted to say that it's really beautiful how you make minimal look so classy. And also, I know you mentioned that dad was really simple with his style, and I see how you make simplicity look really, really, like, I don't even know what word to use, but you're doing really beautiful with what
Thank
you do.
you.
So I'm going to ask, you mentioned now that you didn't even know that you were going to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
What did you study in school, and at what point did you realize that you wanted to pursue fashion?
So back then when I was a child, I thought I was going to be into media or communication. I don't know. I just thought that maybe because I am such a daddy's girl and you can basically tell from all the news and watching the TV, and I felt that I would really be great in front of the TV and I would like my dad to just watch me in front of the TV. So that's one thing that I didn't get to for him to see, because he left us very at a point in my life where I've not even figured out who I wanted to be or what life was going to be for me. So I studied accounting and audit.
Oh my. So I'm trying to link that with being an exceptional fashion designer. How did this happen?
That's the thing. So I went to the Polytechnic and I did I did accounting and audit. I studied accounting and audit, where I ended up not finishing that because I just dropped it halfway. And I think school opened my eyes to what I wanted. So I remember while in school, my lecturers would catch me taking pictures in extreme places, weird places, just to get the right picture. Sometimes they'll see me on the tree, climbing the tree.
Really?
All sorts of things happened back then in my school, and everybody just knew, even in my department, and like everybody, I was always coming to school and making a statement with my style. But I never knew that I was going into fashion. At some point, I think those photographers that were in school started to say, "Oh, Jemima, you can actually do this." So, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, how does this work? Because I had no idea what modeling was about. Honestly, I never even thought about it. And growing up in the north is like such a forbidden thing in such a way. When you are into fashion, is probably just gonna be classified as being wayward, and
Really? What part in the north did you grow?
So I was born in Borno State. My mom is also from the northeast, and I was born there. We grew up till to some point before we moved to Nasarawa State, and then from there I schooled in Jos. So all that background from like the northeast, north central, it wasn't like something, oh, you're exposing your body, you're shameless, you must be wayward, your parents did not train you well, and all of this type of statements might come up very easy to someone that is doing fashion or someone that is kind of like expressing themselves with clothes, even as though it's not like you're exposing yourself, but you're just making.
You don't expose your body. You don't
Well, for them, it's like, you're just doing modeling. So the only thing that comes to their head, she's gonna wear bikini, she's gonna do all those things, and she's gonna be wayward. People are gonna sleep with her here and there. Those type of conversations will come up. It's attached to modeling. It's just something that people just attach it together. Let me not digress from what we are even talking about. So I mean, from school, that happened where like people were like, "Oh, you're so photogenic," and my pictures actually do come out really great. And I saw that, and I remember that my lecturer would call me Portable. I know that Portable name is not really that fancy now, but yeah, they call. I'm sorry, I don't mean to shade anybody.
No, but it's a beautiful thing.
They were calling me Portable because I was just like jumping up and down, climbing the trees to take pictures and everything, and everybody could just relate to that. And I think that was how the journey to me realizing that this fashion thing is a thing. So I did pageantry. I tried a couple of times. I tried on my own setting pictures. I would go to the studio. I'll just grab random things in the studio. I think I have some of those pictures, very ridiculous images. I'll just style myself with whatever random thing that was there. During that time, there is no social media as such. Then I think BBM now came to play at some point. That's BBM. That's the only social media as at then. I'm not sure that people could show themselves in that way. So it's not like now that you can just wake up and just you want to be a model. It's super easy. People can just find you online. You can just be watching, somebody snaps you and say, "Oh, she's great." No, so it was very tough for me to start from nowhere, to start with no exposure, no one that could put me into the right direction. It was just all me doing my thing. And then I contested a few stuff in school. Then I did pageantry.
The face of Zara.
That one was even way back, like way back. Then I did Miss Queen of Culture and Tourism, Plateau State, because I'm so big on tourism as well. And I won that in 2014.
Wow.
Then 2015, I moved to Abuja. And I think 2015 was still the same year. No, I moved to Abuja 2014. 2015, I applied for Face of Zaron. By that time, my career had already picked up since 2014. And then 2015, I became Face of Zaron. It's just a long journey, honestly. If it's keep talking about it, it's just like another whole conversation on its own. But eventually, I just figured out, you know what? School was really frustrating due to some reasons. And I was like, I'm just going to chase my career at this point. And I knew for a fact that modeling was what I wanted at that time. And I put all my strength there. And my mom just really understood that. And she was really okay with me doing that.
Wow.
And then eventually I figured out that modeling was not going to be the only thing I wanted. I wanted more. So that kind of like reminded me of what I started first. It's like going back to the first root of everything, which was fashion for me, because I learned how to sew when I was when I was 15.
Wow.
I started sewing at that age. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go back there. So I went to fashion school. I graduated, then I started my brand in 2017. I think that was it pretty much.
That's like
collectively
that's a long time ago, and I know
together.
that the years only you can say what your eyes have seen, because it's not easy to be an entrepreneur, especially in this part of the world. And I love the fact that you mentioned that you went to a fashion school, because I was going to ask. So nowadays we see people where we ask them when you say, "Are you a tailor?" They say, "No, I'm a fashion designer." And then I got to understand recently during an interview that there are some people, they just sketch, they design, but they do not sew. Some of them do not even know how to sew. But in your own case, does it mean that you sketch, you draft out the design you want, and then you sew too?
So I think that I really understand what you mean by saying I am a tailor, or I am just a business person that know how to gather people and make them stitch some clothes.
Yes.
And just being a proper fashion designer. These are totally two different things. When I went to fashion school, I did professional sewing technique, pattern drafting and professional sewing technique. So that's even still different from actually understanding what fashion designing is. I took a class for specific on that, which was different. It's like a workshop that someone does, which was intensive. It was crazy. Even after the fashion school, that was a different class that I took. Then I took another course, a short course workshop that was detailing on what truly fashion designing was. So that's like a whole different ball game. It's like it opens your mind to more. It's not just about sketching.
So are you saying you do all of these things?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's like, before you come up with a design, you have to do a research. So it's not just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna just do a design, I'm just gonna make clothes without having to do a research on what you are even gonna do first. So I learned that you can actually design clothes from a smell of a perfume. So my first collection was from a smell of a perfume.
Sorry, I'm lost. Like, how does the smell of a perfume
Has to do it.
inspire the kind of outfit you want to sew?
So in the class we're given perfumes, different perfumes. Oh, no, we're asked to bring our perfumes, and when we came with them, they asked us to smell it and how did that make us feel, right? So when you smell your perfume, where did it take you to, or how did that make you feel? So we started writing down the things that made us, how we felt about our own perfumes. And then that's how we started creating our mood board. So from the words of how you feel, from what is in your head, visually, what were you seeing when you close your eyes? For me, I was seeing water. It was fresh. My perfume felt fresh. I felt like there was this breezy place, and I felt like I was in front of like a waterfall where there is like fluidity, movements of water, some structures, So all those things I was seeing, we were giving papers and magazines. We're cutting out all the things we imagined in our head and just placing them in our boards. So that already has given you where to work on from the scratch to create a mood board that can infuse into like the design that you decide to do. From that to like color palettes to like sketch to like the silhouette of what your collection is going to look at the end of the day, and the multiple sketches, then the fabric samples, and then the production and all of that.
This is the point where I say my is like really. You see, the funny thing is we just see designs and we do not know that a lot has gone into it, and that's why I understand when fashion designers just see people copy their works without even giving credit, or because now I understand the pain more, because sometimes I used to feel like you should be happy that somebody is replicating what you're doing. It shows you're doing well, but now I understand better, because it feels like I thought of the process, I created something from the scratch, and you just do copy and paste without even saying I got inspired by this person. Okay, so have you ever had like a bad customer experience? Some people, so I'll give an example. There's this video I came across on TikTok recently where somebody said a customer sent her like a picture of a wedding dress, and she said, oh yes, I can make it, and she was like, oh, how much will it cost me? And she sent in the bill, and the person was like, for what? And the person was like, how do people just pick like exquisite pictures like dresses and bring it to you, but they don't want to pay? Have you ever had maybe such funny experiences with some clients?
So they say cut your coat according to your size, right? So there is that, and there is like it's very tricky. The fashion business is not easy. It's a very hard place. It can affect your mental health. It can stress you out. It can come with a lot of like issues and problems, just like any other business. But you meet people, you meet amazing people, you meet the bad customers, you meet the good ones. But one thing for sure is integrity, how you decide. Because if you really just have integrity and you know why you're doing what you're doing, no matter how a situation comes, the first thing that comes to my own mind is resolution. Resolution first before anything. If I do everything and I'm not able to resolve, then well, I've done my best. And I think that for me, integrity is more than anything else. It breaks my heart more when I have a situation with a client and we are not able to resolve it the way that I would like it to be resolved. But at the same time, in terms of people taking what they know they cannot do, first off, I think that if somebody brings a design from somebody and they want it, they should go to that designer and have it done. It's very easy. Don't promise what you cannot deliver on, and do as much as possible, like the way you said, copy and pasting somebody's work is also it doesn't just make any sense. And for some of the clients, you already know this person is not. You come with maybe Dior wedding dress, and you want somebody in Surulere, I don't know, I'm sorry, to give you a clothes that costs maybe $500,000 or let's say $200,000. and you're coming with your 200k and you're saying you want
200k
kilo.
is fair.
Like, I don't understand
Over 20k.
No, I don't know. It's not 20k, sha. I'm just saying, let's say approximately 200k. Like, how do you want the magic to happen? Do you get? Like, how you and me know that clothes did not. Do you get? Do you know how much the fabric alone? Do you know how many tailors you like focus on that clothes? Do you know the months it takes to finish that clothes? And one of the problems we have also with customers is that they don't give enough time. You want to come pack, you want, the clothes to be just magically available, and these are some of clothes that maybe the designer you want them to copy took maybe a year or 6 months to sew, and you are here with 1 week or 1 month to your wedding. You want magic. And with the tailors that we have here, there is also that problem of like tailors everywhere, and I'm not saying, me, if you notice, there was a time I was doing Ashwebi.
Yes.
I was doing some other things, and I had to ask myself, choose high blood pressure, your life, and career.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Was it that bad? What was the major challenge?
I think that we cannot. Honestly, I know that I can multitask. I know that I'm very multifaceted. I can do 1 million things at a time, and that wouldn't hurt. But I knew that if I took that path, it was gonna affect me, because I know how demanding and tiring it is to deal with custom orders clothes in Nigeria, especially in Lagos. So it's like, choose your battle, choose your life, choose money. What do you want to chase? I said I have to choose my life.
The funny thing is, and that's why shows like this exist, because I remember one time my best friend was about to get married, and I can't remember the designer now, but the person is quite big, and she was the one that was going to handle the ashoke. And the pressure to get the ashoke, I was like, why are they pressurizing us? Like, let's take it at wedding is still in November, and this person is saying February, at least you should have it. Why? And I got to understand that this particular brand collects your materials at least 6 months before your wedding. And I was wondering why.
You felt it was too
I felt it was too much. Like, what if it's just like, what if I'm waiting for one money to come before I buy the actual or there might be so many reasons. But you see, with your explanation and with that person's explanation, because we were not stressed at all. A month already to the wedding, she already started fittings, and unlike, I know some people that tomorrow is their wedding. The day before, a bride that is supposed to be resting, she's at the tailor shop sitting, beside the tailor, that my dress must be ready. So I think with your explanation, it has made me understand more that these things take a whole lot, especially for people who know what they're doing. So I think it's beautiful.
So for me, it was like, gauge what you want for yourself. And I knew that even as I have infused my style and what I want to see, I want to cater for a particular type of people that want some certain type of like clothing.
So what are the certain types of clothes that you decided
so
to
I personally like what I wear, and I know what I want. And sometimes, even as a model, I know like the type of things that I've been seeing that is made. And like I said, from the background of like where I'm coming from, my dad as a person, and what I've seen him wear, and what I know I like to wear, I've not been seeing brands that cater for like people like me as such. So I'm like, you know what? I know my style, I know what I want, and I'm gonna make clothes for my style in what I want, for the kind of people that want to wear what I want to wear. And then I think that was just what started. And when I noticed that the custom market was just, yes, there is money there, but it's like money over like what? I asked myself, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to narrow it down, and I'm going to focus on know me for one thing, and let me be good in that, and I'm content with that.
That's beautiful. So would you be kind enough to share with us some of the celebrities that buy into your kind of style, like some of the people your brand styles?
So there are a bunch of them. Oh, who can I? People like what's her name now? Um, what's this person's name? Sorry, I'm really bad with names. So bad with names. Anyways, let me not go too far. Waje has been one of my
Wow.
customers. I'm trying to remember her name. This person's name.
An actress?
No. Okay, is it Adele or somebody?
Okay. Eku Adewo.
Yeah,
So
Eku
the
Adele.
beautiful thing
You could
is,
literally just see, because she wears my clothes
so
as well.
funny enough, like I love your style. I feel like you cater for, it's funny how slim people like myself would go to some brands or some of these designers, and the kind of designs they already have ready made, most of them might not fit my kind of person. So I think that's one thing that your brand does. It fits, it caters for like people with, different sizes.
Yeah, it's definitely different sizes. It's not necessarily for just slim
Yes,
people.
but it does cater for. So for people who do not really like, maybe there's some fitted clothes, just gum body and all. I love palazzos a lot. I love. So there's this outfit you wore to the premiere of the Real Wives of Lagos or something. The Real Housewives of Lagos.
Yeah.
Like that was really beautiful. I saw it and I was like, okay, this person just she gives me a picture of what I love to wear. So I think for me personally, as an audience, from the audience point of view, I think one thing I like about your brand is it fits anybody. Someone like Waje is not slim, for instance.
Yeah.
You just stated that she's a good customer. I mean, your kind of style will cater for different people. So I'm just trying to say that there are very few brands that their style can cater for the different sizes. Some people would rather say, I know of a particular fashion designer, for instance, they would say it's only if you have hips, because there's no, and I'm not downplaying a brand. She has celebrities who, when people see this style, they already say, oh, this was by this person, this was by this person. Someone like myself or someone with a body type like mine will probably not engage with such brands. But I think one beautiful thing I like about your brand is how it can cater for different body types. Really.
Thank you. I mean, we've worked with a bunch of other celebrities. I can't even remember the names because I just do my thing, and whoever likes what I have and they are able to buy, I'm fine with that. I'm not really keen on the celebrity thing, but if you like what I have and you want to buy that, I am fine to have you and be the best that I can be for any of my clients. But at the same time, I know that a lot of them have bought from us. So we've done a few of them. We've done movies. We've done.
Oh, you've styled some movies?
Yes. Sorry. We've styled some movies.
Okay.
We've done. We've styled some movies. We've done a bunch.
Can you remember some of the titles?
We've worked with Yolanda. I don't know, Yolanda Okereke. It's been a lot of movies. Honestly, I don't even remember all of them. Honestly, because I'm so bad. But we worked on a lot of movies with Yolanda Okereke. A lot of the actresses like Adeswa has worn our clothes.
Oh, wow.
A bunch of them, honestly. I think Inblots something.
Okay, Inblots.
Is that the name?
Yeah.
Those production, we've had some movies with them, and a couple of other movies that we've worked with Nafe and all of that.
Okay, amazing stuff Nafe is doing. So for those people, before we go to the funky questions, for those people who are looking up to a brand like yours or you yourself, and I see the synergy between creating content and being a fashion designer. Your page is clean, your pictures, and now I've come to understand why you're particular about the kind of pictures you put out there. It's probably because you have interest in photography too, right? Because your pictures are always beautiful, the angles and the aesthetics, how you pay attention to aesthetics. So, but there are some brands, there's some individuals who want to be fashion designers and who are also confused because from this conversation, I've also noticed that you are bold enough to go for what you want. There's some people that are doing too many things at a time, and then it becomes obvious to the market. I want to do this, I want to do this. Then disappointment becomes inevitable. So, what's your advice to that upcoming person looking up to you and has learned or is trying to be as bold as you from this conversation we've had here today?
I think that the advice I would give to anyone is just stand up, get it going, and just do it. This is one of my mantra in life. I just do it. So when I have something that I want to do, I don't think twice about it. I can wake up this day and tell you that, oh, I bumped into this thing and tomorrow I'm making soap. The next day I am doing this. I am not scared to stand up and live my dream and do whatever that I like to do. And because this life is just one, you have it just one. There is a stage in life that you can make trials, you can fail, you can try multiple things and figure it out. And there is a place in your life where you won't be able to have the space to be able to do that. But at the time where you are, be sure that you are able to live that life to the fullest, where you are able to, have those experiences, explore all the possibilities of the things that you are able to do. That way, so that you don't live a life where you are regretting why I didn't try and why didn't I try to do something. And for me personally, I think that somebody would say that I have an eye like the eye of an eagle. So if something is not straight, it's just not straight. If this thing has to align, it just has to align. And when it doesn't, it makes me freak a bit. But I am not OCD. I just want things to be done properly and done well. So that could be another thing that I maybe exhibit or shows in the things that I do. I like to figure things out. I don't like to be in the dark. And I think in whatever things that we do or what we invest in, it is it's just very important to know minute things in all the things that the composite of what you do, so that you are not completely blind and you have no idea on how the photography should go, how the lighting should go. If I see a bad lighting, I know that is a bad lighting. If I see something is not working for me, I just know that it's not working for me. And I like that thing where figure things out, know how to do it yourself, because sometimes I don't like to depend on people. If people fail you, what do you have to hold for yourself? Can you be able to wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to take my tripod and do whatever, and I'm going to figure this thing out, where you are not stranded, you are not able to do something. When I started the kids brand, it's providing something for myself. Shopping from Zara, H&M from abroad for my son because of the specific things that I wanted was frustrating for me. The exchange rate was crazy and it didn't make sense for me, because I know that there are other families, other parents like me that are struggling with stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just make clothes for my son. And then I started it. When I wanted to shoot,
you trying to make clothes for your son that inspired male outfits?
No. I have a kids brand. I don't know if you know about it. Nanfair Kids.
Okay.
So we have Nanfair Kids. If you go through the page, you see how well coordinated that has been. I started this from me stitching the clothes on the machine myself. I started making pants for my son and some few items, and then my tailors eventually started making some of the things. And eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna start this. And I knew how I wanted to photograph some of those things, and I have access to cameras, everything. All I needed to do was, show me how to do this thing. I don't want to have to be explaining to someone what I want. I know what I want and I'm gonna figure it out. Sometimes it's hard to just communicate what you want to someone when they are not understanding what you want. So sometimes I really just do my photography myself, but most of the photography of the product shoots for Nanfair Kids, I've done them myself. I edited them myself. I posted them myself. I did most of the work myself. But I know that as the business grows and it gets to the point where I want it to, which is going to be a household brand that has the kids, the men, the women, and in fact the body interior, because I also do interior by the side. My store, I did that myself. Most of my husband's offices and places, I did the interior designing myself. And we also have a business in hospitality now. Our Airbnb, I did the interior for that as well. So I am just that person that likes to figure things out. So when something is there, I ask the question, how was it done? And then another thing is, if the person that did it doesn't have 10 heads, I'm gonna figure it out. It's just like, let me just figure this thing out. Shebi, I can learn it.
Wow, that's really just it. In fact, myself, I am inspired. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's get a bit personal and play some personal games, so some questions, some fun questions.
Okay.
So how did you meet your husband? Because I mean, your husband is one of the biggest photographers here, and I mean, meeting somebody that is as detailed as you two, it's sometimes I wonder, like, two busy people, because I'm sure you are busy. He is busy. Like, how do you manage family? So let me ask the questions. How did you meet your husband, and how do you both manage family and career?
So I met my husband at a shoot in Lagos in 2015, I think. Is it 2016? I don't even remember. I met him at a shoot with something velvet, grey velvet. Okay. I don't know. Do you know the brand Grey Velvet? You should know them. They used to be on the islands. So Orange Culture booked me for a shoot from Abuja with Grey Velvet. And then I flew in, and then my husband was meant to be the photographer. Obviously, I knew about him, but I heard what he looked like and all that, but I never seen his picture until the day of the shoot, where he came and I was introduced to him. He just said hello. Honestly, on that shoot, nothing really stopped me that anything was gonna happen. It was just kind to me. Something happened, and he was the only one that cared that I was okay on set, because I was missing my flight to Abuja for a booking that I had the next day. And he was the only one that kind of like just noticed that I wasn't giving my best at some point of the shoot, obviously because he was one shooting.
Guys, are you taking notes? Please, when you go for a shoot, be caring. And are you sure me that I'm not consider this modeling thing? So maybe I can. Are you taking notes? Care for that person.
He was just being professional, honestly, because he needs his picture to come out well. And if the model is not giving the best, then he would need to get the model to just be her best, so that the job would come out good. Because if all the images comes out bad, he'll have a problem with the client itself. So he was just more concerned and tried to kind of like, okay, what's going on? Are you okay? And then he just was able to help out at some point, and all of that. And then that just made it like, oh, okay, this person is nice. And then at some point we exchanged numbers, and then I went to my hotel and I left the next day. So when we even started dating was later on.
Wow.
So it was much later on when I came back to Lagos for a shoot, and he was supposed to shoot me. He was going to shoot me. That was when I'm like, this person is nice. Look, she's nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
this shoot is me and you now.
It was cute.
Joe, in case you see any shoot, invite me.
It was
like I'm taking lessons, I'm jotting things down. But that's beautiful. So how do you both, because you have a son, and then you're both busy and good at what you do. So how do you manage family and career?
I think when I had my son, I had to pause for a bit, because obviously having to go through pregnancy and then come back and get into work again, the exhaustion and everything. I paused for a bit, then I get back to work. I rebranded my business, like I said, what you want to do and focus on it. I rebranded Nafe, where we don't do custom orders anymore, just so that my stress level goes down and I focus on one aspect of the business, which is what I mentioned initially. That way, so my life is more a bit balanced. And another thing we did was get a place where it's very easy for us to be from our business and our house and where we live. So it kind of like reduces the stress for us a bit. and obviously we are all in the same world, the type of business.
Yeah.
So it's not so hard to understand each other and figure life out and kind of like just merge.
Okay.
So he's a photographer. I make clothes. We live around each other. I can walk to his office. He can walk to mine. I don't have to drive to work. He doesn't have to, except if he has shoot outside.
Wow.
And it's just easy for us to be able to live in a very easy.
I think one thing I like about you and your family is you're both you and your husband, you're intentional, because it only takes like intentional people to work around these things, and it's really beautiful to see. Okay, so thank you for answering those questions. So I have these questions. More or less, like this segment is basically like we're playing games. So you have to answer the questions as fast as you can.
Okay.
So you have 60 seconds to answer all these questions.
Okay. So if I don't answer, what happens?
It's fine. We just at the end of the day, we just rate you.
Okay.
That's all.
Cool.
Okay, so in 3 words, define what fashion means to you.
It's sleek. It is clean, and it is sharp.
Okay. All right. So 3 popular fashion brands.
Andrea, Tangoro. I would mention African designers, obviously, because why not? And Maya Tafu.
Okay. Oh wow. So one fashion blunder that irritates you.
I don't know, when you just wear things that is not balanced. Like so much going on at the same time. I don't understand.
Okay, amazing. One fashion item that you will never be caught wearing.
I will never be caught wearing. Hey, there are a lot though, because you see me, I'm very simple.
Okay, so maybe mention 3.
I don't want to shade anybody.
No,
how do I mention the names?
You, don't worry.
Okay, let me use you know that show, the one I went for the premiere.
Yeah.
You shall understand some of the things that they used to wear. You will not find me wearing it. I'm sorry.
Now mention the names of these things now. It's not the problem. It's just,
as I said, you know the things they used to wear.
Now
sometimes.
mention now.
I cannot wear it.
You can't find me wearing waist beads. You can't find me wearing kinikon. So like you have to give us names. Because me, I know this.
You know that thing they wear on their head. What's the name? Is it crown? I'm sorry.
Oh my god! I feel like it's a contemporary fascinator.
Okay, fascinator.
I'm giving it that name, but I don't know.
Share the thing that they used to, and then bling bling. Hi, I don't like bling bling. God forbid.
Really?
I don't like shine cloth. I don't like shine fabric. I don't like shine cloth.
Wow.
What else? The thing, and then hey, that their corset that used to suffocate their waist. I like corset.
You don't like it? Oh, okay.
But not that one that won't. Not the one that will turn your waist to from 30 to 19. No.
Okay. So I know you mentioned this, but I don't know. Let me see your ask. What inspires your style?
My dad, me, and simplicity in general.
Okay, so 3 fashion items you would always find with you.
You find lip gloss, my handbag, and maybe my nose ring. I don't know, because not every time I wear my rings.
Okay, top on your list. 3 male celebrities that are very fashionable.
Hey, that would be Orange Culture. And which other one? I have a few celebrities. Yeah, Eku.
Okay.
I don't know that her name is very hard for me to pronounce.
Edo.
And who? Because I wear what she wears. I mean, it's not hard. Who? I need another babe. I'll say Denola Gray too, and maybe Andrea.
Okay, amazing. Lastly, spell fashion backwards.
Fashion backwards. S
That's very.
O I N A
No,
F.
let's go again. Fashion.
N O I S. Wait. Yeah, H A F.
You have thrown away the S.
Wait now. I added it now. Wait.
No, now. Before you
Fashion.
started with
N O I.
It's all you're trying to recollect and smell it in your head for me.
Yes, now. N O I S F
No, you've thrown away
A
the
H. Sorry, let me do it again. N O I S H S.
You know I've said it
F
right.
A
If
F.
I were you,
Sorry. I mean, I'll try it, Sha, but I started it.
No, you did well.
But you said backwards.
That
took me half.
Okay, thank you so much for being on Fashion Uncut show.
You're welcome.
We had an amazing time and we learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I'm sure the viewers at home will learn a lot when you're watching this. So guys, I hope you had an amazing time. If you did, please drop comments, and please share with your friends. And do well to follow us across our platforms on Instagram, Fashion Uncut and Voice Tone, and on YouTube, subscribe at Voice Tone. And yes, you can follow my beautiful, delectable guest on Instagram, Mimzbee.
Yes.
Okay,
Mimzbee.
Okay, and then the fashion brand.
KNANFE Nafe.
Okay, alright. Okay guys, and yes, you should check our husband's page out. Not check our husband out, check our husband's page out. Of course. You should know Emmanuel Oyeleke, but I mean, it's such a beautiful pair, and
Thank you.
we're great fans of your work.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
We hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the Fashion Uncut show. Stay safe. You know what I always say. I love you. So from my beautiful guest and I, it's goodbye.